Mrs. Stewart's 7th grade General Academics English course is mainly comprised of a socioeconomic disadvantaged population, are primarily of Hispanic ethnicity, aligning with an inner-city setting, and are comprised of a gender ratio of 54% female to 46% male. While the majority of the class is at approaches grade level, a few students have identified learning disabilities, as well as several others that are at master's grade level. Additionally, there are a couple of English language learners at intermediate fluency. These students respond best to hands-on, collaborative lessons and experience a more authentic learning experience when working with real-world scenarios. As Mrs. Stewart's class is typical of the 21st century learner, utilizing technology to generate hands-on and interactive lessons promote active, authentic learning. While the presentation appeals to the verbal and visual intelligences, the poll questions appeal to the kinesthetic and interpersonal intelligences. American Association of School Librarians Standards for the 21st Century Learner. Chapter 126, Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills for Technology Applications. Subchapter B, Middle School. Texas State Library and Archives Commission. For our lesson, we chose to use a Novio to present the learning goals and to present the new information. Embedded into the Novio are some turn and talk questions where the students will discuss and draw on their background knowledge. In addition, we are using Poll Everywhere to make questions and answers more engaging and for the teacher to assess immediately where the students are in the learning process. At the end of the lesson, we have a Kahoot quiz for the students to use their own devices and review the key concepts taught. Finally, we have a Padlet that allows students to post any questions, concerns, or comments in response to the lesson. Requiring the students to complete the Padlet can help the teacher assess who will need reteaching or further clarification and get feedback on the lesson. Integrating these strategies will ensure that the students stay motivated as they master the lesson objectives. All of these platforms provide ease of use for the students at the same time as they are being challenged to learn and remember the copyright laws. Before the students arrive, the teacher will ensure that the projector and speakers are functioning and are able to properly present the Novio. If the students are unfamiliar with Poll Everywhere, the teacher may need to pause the presentation and walk the students through the process of using this tool. The students may also need some basic instructions before playing the Kahoot. The teacher should be moving around the room, ensuring that all students know how to access the room code and are putting in their names as instructed. There is a feature where the name can be deleted if it is entered incorrectly or inappropriately. The teacher needs to be on the lookout for this as well. The Kahoot can be played in classic or group mode depending on how the teacher chooses to set the game up. Results can be saved after the game is over. At the end of the lesson, the teacher will guide the student in the use of Padlet by posting an example comment for the class to see. Students will need access to a device to put their individual feedback on the Padlet. This can be the required exit ticket if the teacher so desires. We require students to participate during 2 different points of our copyright lesson. During instruction, we ask live poll questions from Poll Everywhere after each main point. It requires students to show their understanding of the concept by texting in their answer. If a portion of students don't get the correct answer from the live polling, we can go back and reteach the point. We also require participation during the assessment part of the lesson. The Kahoot works like Poll Everywhere and will require students to submit their response on their phone. Ensuring that there is 100% participation is simple for both sites because the number of responses will match the number of students in the class. Because students can use their phone, the technology is a good way to get active participation. In this copyright lesson, we used poll questions throughout as a way to gauge students' understanding of various scenarios where copyright is involved. Besides the informal assessments, we also include a formal assessment of the understanding of copyright using Kahoot. The game competition format of Kahoot typically increases student engagement. We also designed a rubric to specifically hone in on each student's areas of strength and needed growth, thus enabling us to objectively determine which students would benefit from reteaching on which particular concepts and skills. Additionally, we created a Padlet as a way for students to share their questions and concerns. Not only does this tool help the teachers clarify student understanding, it also helps us identify where meaning broke down in the lesson. By the nature of the questions posed, teachers can evaluate their presentation. The impact of presenting the lesson through technology and media was higher student engagement, as this generation are digital natives. In our instructional process, technology was used for direct instruction, the checks for understanding, the formal assessment, and even as a medium for asking questions. This also conveyed to students that copyright is especially important to observe when dealing with technology. All the data received from students, whether answers to poll questions, Kahoot quiz scores, Padlet questions received, or results of the rubric-based assessment, should be taken into consideration and act as a springboard into revising the lesson for the next group of students, whether that be next period or next year.